read a small bit from one of my romances, The Smitten Husband. The Smitten Husband is available both as paperback and as on Kindle. And this is the second book in the Marriages Made in India series. And this book is about Ram, who is the eldest of the Maheshwari family. If you have read the Runaway Bridegroom, you will realize that Ram is the eldest brother of Chanda, who is the heroine in the Runaway Bridegroom. Ram meets Sapna in an arranged match and it's love at first sight for him. As for the feisty Sapna, she is waiting for her Prince Charming and she is not able to see Charming in her Ram. So, they are married now and it's their wedding night. I am just reading you a piece from this. After a light dinner with the two families, Ram and Sapna walked to their new home. To all appearances, they were off to celebrate their wedding night. Sapna was a bundle of nerves as she let Ram hold her hand on the walk to their new home. At the time of the wedding, everything had seemed perfect. Ram had almost seemed like the prince of her dreams, especially when he rode on the elephant. She recalls the expression of joy on her mother's face and the one of relief on her father's. Sapna couldn't deny that there had been 100 reasons why the marriage had to happen. But now that she was alone with Ram, her mind started to revolt once again. He could have said no, couldn't he? She had requested him a couple of times at least. But he had been selfish, thinking only about himself. He had wanted to marry her and that was it. He hadn't even bothered that she wasn't interested. That had been unfair on his part. Sapna's temper soared, along with her blood pressure, even as a mutinous expression settled on her face. She didn't open her mouth as she walked next to Ram, letting him hold her hand even as she fought the instinct to snatch it away. Ram let go of her hand once they entered the house, before turning to shut the main door behind him. When he looked at his wife of a few hours, he could sense that she was extremely tense. Sapna was fidgeting with the edge of her dupatta and had fixed her gaze on the floor. Actually, they needed time to get to know each other, and he thought it best to delay consummating their marriage. He planned to talk to her about it, though he wasn't clear about how to broach the subject. Sapna, he called out softly, walking closer. Why don't you sit down? She edged sideways, avoiding his proximity, as she walked to the sofa. His face darkening, Ram went to sit next to her, making sure that there was a gap of at least a couple of feet between them. Clearing his throat, he said, I was thinking. She raised a hand to stop him from saying anything further. She needed to get the words out before she lost her courage. Wait. Before you say something, I can't sleep with you. You are a stranger. I married you only because I had no choice, not because I wanted to. I can be your wife only in name. Her whole body was shaking by the time she finished talking. She hadn't meant to be so rude, but didn't know how else to tell him all this. She needed him to wait, but she had no idea for how long. Right now, just the thought of letting him touch her made her entire body shudder in anguish. And thus, folks, the wedding of the smitten husband begins with his sapna. Read the book to find out what happens, whether they find love or they go separate. I have to tell you one thing, but all my romances are happily ever afters. Do give this a read, and I would love to know what you think. Leave a line of review on Amazon. Thank you for listening.